Hi guys, welcome back to the new edition of Are Your Pro Tips. Alright, so in today's particular video, I'm going to give you guys the step-by-step guide on how to predict American football under points. Actually, this particular sport, I'm very sure many people are not aware of it, and if you are aware of it, I'm sure some people doesn't understand how this particular sport works. Alright, so in today's particular video, I'm going to explain each and every steps that you need to take to get accurate American football under total points. I made a video earlier on how I got informed about this particular market, American football total points under, and I realized that some of their options like the under total points are kind of crazy, because if you are looking at this particular odds, you guys will notice that they are very big. But one issue about this thing is that I feel like the person that take this particular game actually took a risk. Like, it's just like a risk, because for you to get something like this, that means you are not playing safe at all. And I'm going to show you guys the reason why I say that. The owner of this particular stake did not play safe, because if you guys look at the potential outcome, is around 220 million naira, and the amount of stake the person stake just 4,000 naira out of the total balance that the person had, which happens to be over 8 million naira. This is when you will know that this particular match predictions is not a safe tips. But I'm going to show you guys the expected odds that you'll be getting after applying the save methods, and I'll be telling you some steps that you guys can take in order to make more profit from this particular strategy. Alright, so at first, when I tried the strategy on over and under, this particular match was predicted as over 46 total points in American football, and this one was predicted as under 61.5, and this one was predicted as under 54. And if you guys look at it very well, the kind of odds that I got was like kind of different to that of the one I showed you guys earlier. Is because in this particular aspect I was trying to play safe, because I actually got my average total point using a particular strategy that I'm currently using for basketball under points right now, because there's a new strategy I developed for basketball, and I actually derived it in the process of researching this particular sport under total points. Now I have this particular game as under 54 at thought of 1.3. I had this one over 46 at thought of 1.2, and this one under 61.5 at thought of 1.1 odd. And if you guys look at it very well, the only thing I did to make it safe was that after getting the average total point, for example, this particular game that I predicted as under 61.5, it was supposed to be under 51. That is the actual average point I had from this particular game, but I decided to add 10 points to it to make it more safe. When it comes to making your game safe, it depends on you. You can decide to be adding 20 points, you can decide to be adding 5 points. I did mean that I had 5 points to it, I would have gotten maybe probably 56. I would have predicted the game as under 56.5, and if I decided not to add any other figures to it, just to play it as I've gotten the average total point, it would have been predicted as under 51, and it would have been won. And predicting that game as under 51, do you know the kind of odds that you are going to be getting? You'll be getting a very similar odds to the one I showed you guys earlier, right? And this one that I predicted as over 46.5, it was actually meant to be predicted as over 56.5, and this one also predicted as under 54. It was supposed to be predicted as under 44, but I was trying to play safe to make sure that this particular strategy is working out so well. So in this particular video, I'm going to show you guys step by step on how you guys can predict this particular game, and I'm going to explain before we proceed to the step-by-step guide on how to make use of the under total point betting strategy. Now, before we proceed, you guys also need to be very careful regarding to this particular American football betting strategy. sometimes they may not be consistent, most especially leagues like NCCA, like that. I think maybe their college league, like that, in the American football stuff. So this particular league, sometimes they don't have the head-to-head. They only have the last 5 games against other opponents, and for the home team and the away team. And when you don't have data for their head-to-head, you just need to be very careful. And another method that you can use is that you don't try to play safe. When you try to play safe, that's when you are going to be getting odds like 1.3, 1.2, or maybe odds like 1.1 or 1.2, like small odds like that. That's what you are going to be getting. But if you want to risk it, like, okay, you want to play exactly just like the average point that you've gotten, and you are combining just 2 games together to get maybe 1.4 odd or 1.3 odd, then you can go like that. And what you just need to do is that you can just target, okay, like if you can be getting 5 odd from this particular strategy without playing safe, 5 odd in 10 times, and you are able to win 5 out of the 10 slips, I think that is a profit. Because when it comes to this American football, you cannot 100% win them because of consistency. All right, now let's proceed. Because this particular slip that you guys are looking at, I actually generated 14 odds trying to play safe in order to make sure that this particular strategy is more accurate. So now I discovered that when it comes to consistency in this particular sport, sometimes it may not really work out. But the purpose of playing safe too actually showed, because there are some games that I didn't add the additional point of 10 to them, I would have lost. For example, this particular game I'm showing you guys that I predicted as under 57.5, it was meant to be predicted as under 47, but I added 10 points to it to make it more safe. And if you look at this one I predicted as under 66.5, it was meant to be predicted as under 56.5, but it won. And the point that they ended up playing, I didn't do that. I predicted the game as under 56.5, I will still won this particular game. So like that and like that and like that, we have it many like that. This one that ended up as 53, the game was meant to be predicted as under 54, and I would have won it with a very nice odd. So that's how the thing is working. Consistency in American football is not that, but you just need to make use of the value bet. All right, now so let's take some steps from the USA NFL League, from the American football sport. All right, so we have one of the games that I predicted earlier, which happens to be Atlanta Falcons against Tampa Bay. So this particular game ended up as 20 and 23. And one thing about American football that I want to explain to you guys is that they also have 4 quarters, just like basketball. In basketball we have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, and each quarter involves maybe 15 minutes. They play 15 minutes for each quarters, just like football in NBA. In football, there are some leagues that they only play each quarters 10 minutes, but the NBA they use, I think, 15 minutes. So likewise in this particular sport too, they use 15 minutes for each quarters. So they have first quarter, they have second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarters. Now I'm going to explain how this particular point works for them. We have the one that we call touchdown, we have extra point, we have feed goal. All right, so now let me explain to you how this work. As you guys are seeing this touchdown, if they score touchdown, that means they add 6 points, and if they got extra point, that is just 1 point. And that's the reason why the first quarter ended up as 7 points here. And in the second quarter, as you guys are seeing it, that ended up as 310. Don't forget the away team had a field goal, and a field goal represents 3 points. They add a touchdown, that one is 6 points, making 9, and they add extra points, which is just 1 point, and that's why they add 10 points. And the home team had a field goal around 14 minutes, and that's why they add their 3 points. So this happens to be a missed field goal, touchdown. There are 6 points and extra point, which is 1 point. So that's how this particular thing works out in American football. Sometimes you'll be predicting a games to end up as maybe under, and they will be scoring points, big points. All right, now let's proceed to the strategy aspect. That is their checking their head-to-head. It's a very simple technique to do, and very simple. What you just need to do is to check the last 5 games of your home team, check the last 5 games of the away team, and check their last head-to-head against each other, and from there then you are good to go. So the first thing that you need to just do is to check the smallest total point they had in their last 5 games. I told you guys earlier that I used this strategy for basketball too, and it's actually working out so well. Adding the smallest total point in the last 5 games with the highest total point in the last 5 games and dividing it by 2, doing the same thing for the away team and doing the same thing for their head-to-head, and adding everything together and dividing it by 3, and you are good to go. So let me do that again and let's see what we have. Alright, so this happens to be their last 5 games for the home team against other opponents. Alright, so from their last 5 games, the smallest total point that they had happens to be this particular match that ended up as 10 and 17, which lead to 27. And the biggest total point that they had in the last 5 games happens to be this particular game that ended up as 38 and 44, which is 82. So this particular 27 and 82 is what you are going to add together and divide by 2. So let's go. Alright, so 27 plus 82, then we are having 109, right? So divide this particular 109 by 2, then we have 54.5. So this 54.5, just label it as home team and keep it somewhere. Then let's proceed to that of the away team. Also, it's a very fast strategy, very fast and simple. Alright, so let's proceed to the away team. Now we have the last 5 games of the away team, and we are going to pick the smallest and the highest total point in the last 5 games. Alright, so now from the look of things, the smallest point in the last 5 games of the away team happens to be this particular match that ended up as a 14 and 17, which are total to 31. And the biggest point in the last 5 games of the away team happens to be this particular match that ended up as 27 and 19, which accumulated to 46. So we are adding 31 and 46 together to get the average point of the away team. Alright, so 31 plus 46, so we have 77 divided by 2, then we have 38.5. Don't forget, for the home team we add 54.5 and you label it as home team, and for the away team we add 38.5. You can label that one too as away team. Then you move on to the head-to-head, and in their head-to-head we are going to apply the same steps to it. We are going to check the smallest total point and the biggest total point. Alright, now so from their head-to-head, that is the last 5 games against each other, the smallest point that they had happens to be from this particular match that ended up as 13 and 16, which accumulated to 29. And the biggest point that they had happens to be from this particular game that ended up as 36 and 30, which accumulated to 66. So we are adding 66 and 29 together to get the average point for in their head-to-head. Alright, so we have 95 divided by 2, and we have 47 46.5. All right, so we are going to add all the three average points together right now. So we have 47.5 in the head to head, and we have 38.5 in the for the away team, and we had 54.5 for the home team. So let's add everything together. All right, so now we have 140.5 after adding everything together. Then you divide by 3. And why am I dividing it by 3? Because we got this particular 140 from 3 sections. Section 1 from the home team, section 2 from the away team, and section 3 from their head to head, which happens to be the last 5 games against each other. Alright, so after dividing it by 3, we had 46. Then if I want to predict this particular game, instead of going for 46, if I want to play safe, I used to add 10 points to it, and I'll be predicting it as 56, right? But if I don't want to predict it safely and I want to get big odds, then I'm going for 46. Had it been that I predicted this particular game as under 46, let's check the results. Then I would have won this particular game, but it would have been a risky attempt because the game ended up as 43 and I would have predicted it as 46. Had it been that I want to play, I don't want to play safe. Now if I play safe and I predicted the game as maybe under 56, and when it comes to playing safe, you can decide to add 5, you can decide to add 15, you can decide to add 100, depends on your choice. But for me, I like adding 10, so I had 10 and I'm getting what, 56.8. And if I want to predict this particular game, I'll go for maybe under 56.5. So by going for under 56.5, this is actually what I got eventually for this particular game that ended up as 43, and the odd for it happens to be 1.286 odd. You guys can see that the odds are not that much, because if you are trying to play safe and you are following this particular method, the kind of odd that you are going to be getting will be around maybe 1.5, 1.4, and 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, 1.07, and like that. But I didn't be that I went for maybe probably under 46, trying to play risky stuff like that. I'm very sure I would have gotten maybe probably 1.8 odd or 1.7 odd. It is very sweet for single bet, but if you are doing that, you can just combine maybe 2 games together to get maybe 3 odd and target, like, at least if you are doing it like for 10 slips, you must win 5 or 6 out of it. By winning 6 out of it and having a fixed staking amount, you should be making something good out of it. So in case if you have any question regarding to this particular strategy, or if you have any question regarding to any part of these steps, kindly make sure that you drop it in the comment section. And if you are just joining us for the first time on this particular channel, kindly make sure that you subscribe to this channel and like our video. And if you want to join any of our Telegram platforms, maybe you want to join our private circle groups, our links are available. See you guys in the next video. Don't forget, kindly make sure that you bet responsibly. No strategy is 100% accurate. Bye bye.